So what I'm about to say is probably going to absolutely tank the retention on this video, but if you are not an agency owner who owns a marketing agency, who is just starting out and has no clients, I want you to click away, okay? If you have clients, this video is not for you, I want you to click away. If you don't have an agency, I want you to click away, right? Like I'm telling you, click away if you're not this person, okay? And if you are that person, you need to watch this video, okay? What I'm gonna go over is exactly what you're probably currently facing in terms of what's going wrong and exactly what you need to do to bridge that gap and actually get that first client, okay? And so if you don't know who I am, I'm Matt. I built an agency and now I'm building a coaching business, basically teaching people what I did with the agency and still do with the coaching business. And really the whole goal with what we do is to help early stage agency owners hit 10K per month, okay? So I have a list right here of, first of all, key problems that I've seen that people in this situation have. So I'm gonna go through them, and then I'm gonna go over the key things you need to start doing to actually get to that goal of getting that first client. So honestly, for these first four that I have, for like the key things that are going wrong, I tried to order them in terms of like what's the most prevalent to the least prevalent, but honestly, all of them are equally prevalent, okay? So you probably have all four of these, and if you don't think that you do, it's probably your ego that's getting in the way of you, okay? So the first one of these four is unconsciousness, okay? So you're probably thinking, what is unconsciousness? Like, what do you mean? Like, obviously, I'm a conscious human. What do you mean I'm unconscious? What I mean is that you don't have like the conscious, I guess, decision-making ability to think properly and think rationally and actually make decisions that benefit you, right? So let's say if you just wake up in the morning, you have right now, let's say you just wake up and it's 7 a.m. you just wake up, your alarm wake you up. You have the decision to make of do you want to scroll for 3 hours and then roll out of bed at 10 a.m. or do you want to get up and do the work that you planned that you were going to do, right? That's a decision you have to make. But the majority of people, and obviously, especially people who don't have the first client yet, are going to make that decision unconsciously, right? Instead of thinking about it, they're going to, kind of turn off their brain and think unconsciously. And your brain is naturally wired to pain avoidance, right? And so because your brain is naturally wired to pain avoidance, what's more painful? Sitting in bed for 3 hours or going and doing hard work? Obviously going and doing hard work. So if you're not thinking consciously, you're going to pick that less painful, that more comfortable option every single time. Okay, so that's the first big one. The second problem is zero self-accountability. Okay, and so what that means is you can be very accountable to other people, but you're shit at being accountable to yourself, right? So if I gave you the goal right now, let's say I was on a call with you right now, like we were on a Zoom call, and I was coaching you, and I said, okay, right now, go and do 5 cold calls. Right? If that was something that I told you on a Zoom call and I was there with you, you would probably do it, right? But what if, and this isn't, I'm not just saying this to the video, real action step, go and do five cold calls right now and make sure that they all pick up. So maybe you have to do 20 and get 5 to pick up, right? If you don't do that, what that means is you don't have self-accountability, right? Because if I told you to do that on a call with me, you would, but I'm telling you to do that right now. And if you don't do that, what that shows me is you lack self-accountability, right? So action step, and once again, this isn't just for the video. If you're not gonna watch this, if you're not gonna do this, there's no point in watching. Pause the video, go and do 5 cold calls. You're gonna do it, because if you don't do it, and you're listening to this right now, and you haven't done it, all that shows me is that you have the problem that is stopping you from hitting 5 clients, right? And right there, once again, you just had a decision to make, right? That was actually the first one, being unconscious, right? If you just kind of were like you didn't really think about it and you just kind of don't want to do it and you just didn't do it, you just made an unconscious decision to not do it because it's more painful, right? So that's actually the third thing, is pain avoidance, right? So those kind of 3 things, kind of Lollapalooza, right? We have unconsciousness, right? So making decisions, you're just not really conscious. We have zero self-accountability, so you can't kind of keep yourself accountable to do things. And then you have pain avoidance, right? So when you are making the decisions, you make them based on what is going to be the most comfortable, right? So that's actually accidentally, I just gave you the perfect example with the 5 cold calls, right? If you stuck, it's probably because you made the decision not to do 5 cold calls unconsciously, right? And you made the decision not to do it because of pain avoidance, and you didn't do it because there was no one to hold you accountable, right? So that's the issue, right? As someone who was better and someone in a better situation who was more advanced would have done those 5 cold calls, right? Because they would have done them purely because they seek pain, they don't avoid pain, because kind of the growth pain is what you need to actually evolve. that's the first thing. And they would have done it consciously. They would have consciously thought, okay, well, is this actually going to help me? Yes, it is. Okay, I should do it. And number three, they have that accountability with themselves. They every single day, they have the option to do the thing that they said they would, right? And by doing the thing they said they would every single day, they kind of build up that trust with themselves, right? So with that said, that doesn't mean if you're in that first situation and you didn't just go do the 5 cold calls, your world's going to end, right? Because you can change that by facing the pain. So another action step, and you know what, just to gratify and kind of reward the people that did the 5 or however many cold calls before. If you did the 5 cold calls before, you don't have to do them right now. But if you didn't, you need to go do the 5 cold calls. Okay? So I'm telling you right now, if you didn't do it then and you didn't do it now you're fucked. Because now it's a conscious decision, right? I'm bringing it up to you consciously. You can either do it and you'll feel really good after it, and you'll feel very happy then, no matter the outcome, and like it'll all around be great. Or if you don't, you kind of avoid the pain, so that's nice. But long term, it makes you feel shit, and then this decision right now will be the catalyst to what sparks your growth. So it's up to you. Do you want to start growing? If yes, go do it. If no, don't do it. Start applying to jobs. Yeah, that's the third thing. And the fourth thing is kind of separate. It's just a general lack of understanding and lack of knowledge, right? So just very simple, not having enough knowledge and understanding to kind of make the proper decisions, right? So maybe let's say you just started an agency and you don't know the first thing about getting clients. So you don't really do anything because you don't even know cold calling exists. You don't even know posting content could help you. You don't know what Calendly is. You don't know what anything else is, right? So that's the fourth thing. It's kind of a bit separate, but those three and the general lack of knowledge are the big kind of 4 issues that I see people in the agency space are facing, right? So that's the first thing, is the problems that you're facing, okay? So the next thing, number 2, is the key things that you need to start doing. And so for this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things for you, okay? So the first one is the cure to unconsciousness, which is meditating, right? Because if you're meditating, and specifically if you're doing refocus meditation, which all that is means you're sitting down like this, with straight spine, sitting down, and all you're doing is you close your eyes and you focus on your breath, right? So I'll meditate for 5 seconds, close your eyes, focus on your breath like this, right? You're literally just breathing in and out, focusing on your breath for 10 minutes, or however minutes you want to do. For me personally, I do it 10 minutes a day, right? Doing refocus meditation, what it's going to do is it's going to let you think consciously, right? Because let's say you're focusing on the breath and then your mind kind of wanders. The whole kind of purpose of meditation is being able to go from mind wandering back to the breath. When you do that, that's kind of like 1 rep. If we're counting the brain as a muscle, right? Every time you mind wander and then bring it back to the breath, that's plus 1 rep, right? And so that's gonna, if you can do that consistently for a long period of time, that's gonna translate into when you're making decisions, and you just kind of you unconsciously just do the thing that's less painful, and you're about to do it, and then you can kind of be conscious, refocus, and think rationally, and then actually make the correct decision, right? So I'm actually gonna give you a prime example of this. You might not believe me, but that's fine. So when I was going to make this, I got my phone from the kitchen to record this, right? And in the kitchen, there is a Pizza Hut Hershey's chocolate lava cake, right? And it was in the fridge. And so I had the decision, and because I'm hungry right now, I'm fasted. So I had the decision, do I want to eat 1 slice of that just so I feel a bit less hungry before I record? Or do I just want to start recording, right? And so I was almost going to go for that first option, but then kind of snapped, and I went back to consciousness. I was like, wait, number 1, it's going to help me to be hungry in these videos because I'm going to be more fasted, my mind is going to be more clear, and also if I was to have something, I'm not going to have that. If I was to have something, I'm going to see it as a kind of like a reward for doing the hard work, which is recording, right? And if I did have it, I would have kind of had the reward before actually making the videos, and it would have probably made me worse in the videos, right? So that's the first thing, is refocus meditation, right? Second thing after that is investing in yourselves, right? So this comes from 2 main things. First of all, health. So just simple shit, right? If you have shit quality water and you need to go buy good water, if you need to go buy vitamins, whatever, good quality food, it's very simple. It just comes down to access to a gym, access to good food, access to good clean water. Those are the 3 main things that you need for health, right? And the second thing, and probably the big thing for investing, is into yourself. And by the way, when I'm saying investing, I don't mean into the S&P 500. I'm talking about into the SME 500, right? You're investing into yourself, not into some stock exchange, right? Because some massive S&P 500, that's going to get you 10% return per year, right? Compounded. Whereas if you were to invest in yourself, you could get 1 million, 2 million% returns in a few years, right? So which is the better investment, right? Obviously into you is a bit more risky, but the reward far outweighs the risk, right? So when I'm talking about investing, I'm talking about investing in yourself. So that's why number one was health, and number two is programs, right? So don't worry, I'm not going to pitch you my program to the end of the video, I promise, but investing in programs is where you're going to like actually learn the real things. And remember back to the fourth thing that I said was a general lack of understanding and lack of knowledge. Some people who are just starting out just genuinely don't know enough. And that's where programs are going to come into play. And also for the first three, right? If you're unconscious, a program's going to make you conscious. If you have zero self-accountability, you're going to get other forms of accountability while you're still leveling up your self-accountability. And if you're pain avoidant, the program's going to hold you accountable to where if you're not kind of changing your mindset to becoming pain-seeking, you're going to get caught out on it, right? But we'll get into Olympus and shit like that. I'm sure you don't want me to fucking pitch you. I'm sure, like, you know, we'll get into that later. The third thing after meditating and investing, which that you should be doing, is planning your day the night before, okay? So this is so simple. What I do is I have a doc called the Daily Wrap, which I kind of complete every single night, and it goes up like, you know, what inputs did I do today, what outputs did I get today, what was good about today, what was bad about today, what I rate today out of 10, and then literally it's like, did you plan tomorrow on Google Calendar? Yes or no? And then I just tick yes if yes, and if no, then I go do it, and then I tick yes. If you can plan your day on Google Calendar, on Notion, on the warm app, on Notes, on anything, it doesn't matter. As long as you're planning your day the night before, so that when you wake up, so the way that I like to see it is there's two modes, right? There's pilot and there's autopilot mode, right? So pilot mode is what you want to be in the night before when you're planning your day, right? You're like, you know, you're that pilot, it's kind of manual, you're thinking kind of logically, okay, I need to do this. And so you plan it out, okay, at 8:30 a.m. I'm going to do this, 10 a.m. I'm going to do this, etc. Right? But then when you wake up to when it's night again and you go back to pilot mode, you want to be in autopilot mode, where you don't need to think at all. All you need to do is just kind of do like play the script that was written for you the night before. That's the way that you want to think about it, right? So third thing, plan your night the day before. And also that goes the same thing with planning your week, right? So you're going to plan like the specific tasks that you're going to do the night before, but you want to kind of plan your weeks at a higher level view on the Sunday before as well. Like taking 1 or 2 hours on Sunday to kind of plan the next week. It's the exact same concept. And so for the second problem that we talked about, which was zero self-accountability, the way that you're going to work that up is by kind of actually proving to yourself that you can trust yourself. And so the only way that you're going to do that is tell yourself you're going to do things and actually do them, right? But it's going to take time to build up that trust. So the last thing, the fifth thing that you can do, that you can start today, so that before like that kind of self-trust kicks in, you can still have that accountability, except with somebody else, is do something called the Friend $5 accountability. Okay, so this is what I literally do every single day and it helps me a bunch, right? So all I do is I have a 15-minute call with my closest friend every single day, right? And so literally the sole thing we do in that call is go over our input goals for the day, right? And so the way that we have it structured is if you don't come to the call, you have to pay $5 to the other person. And if you don't do your input goals, then you have to pay $5 to the other person, right? So it's very simple. Number one, you have accountability to show up to the call from like, you know, your friends waiting there for you and the $5, like literally just monetary accountability. And number two, you have accountability once again from your friend and from the money to actually do your goals every single day, right? And it's literally the easiest thing you can do. All you need to do is have a not terrible friend. It doesn't even need to be a friend. You can just find a random person who's on like, you know, the same like kind of trajectory as you and start doing this with them, right? You can make a friend. You can make a lifelong friend from doing that, right? But it literally does not get any more simple than that, right? So when it comes to everything we've gone over, all the stuff that you're currently doing wrong and all the stuff that you need to do, it's at the end of the day, it is up to you. And it's going to be completely up to you whether or not you end up kind of fixing your way and you end up doing the right thing, right? But with that said, there is a way to somewhat, at least like, obviously not 100%, no one can like force you and like move your arms to do the work for you, but there is a way you can almost guarantee that you get what you want, which is what we talked about, which is investing in programs, okay? So obviously like if you're scared of being pitched, click off now, right? But with Olympus, what we do is we help early stage agency owners, meaning people who are making under 10K per month, hit 10K per month and beyond that, right? So maybe like if you're just starting out and the goal is 10K per month, it's for you. If you're like 5K per month, the goal is 15, 20K per month and like, you know, 6 to 8 months from now, it's for you, yeah? So if you are in that group, the first thing in the description is for you. If not, that's fine. Keep watching the videos. Obviously, do all the YouTube shit, like, comment, subscribe. And one more thing. This video has been like what? Maybe it's 13, 14, I don't know, however long minutes. Just by watching this video, first of all, it's like a video that's kind of uncovering the problems that you have. And so just by the nature of your pain avoidance, you probably don't want to watch a video like that. Right? So first of all, props to you for actually watching the video. And second of all, just the fact that you've been able to kind of sit through, it's like edited, but not like extremely hyper edited video of mine, basically just of me yapping for like 14 minutes, already shows you have a top 1 attention span and you're doing the right thing. Okay? So good job. I'll see you next one. Okay? Bye-bye.